All right, it's media day. We are talking 3-5A Division One with Richland head coach Jed Cates. Coach, it's a heck of a district. First of all, something's always going to happen when the realignment happens, and you go from one district where a lot of the teams. Let's be honest with you, you weren't getting a lot of comp from some of the teams, but it seems like this district, no matter where you chop it up, you're playing a quality squad. You even got a 6A team that dropped down with Fossil Ridge. Talk about your first inclination when you took a look at this district and what you have in store for the Royals.
Well, we all like winning football games, and so that my first thing was, okay, we like you said, it's week to week. It's like college conference type football now, and the first thing is, oh man, we got a couple state champs in there, and we got some other unbelievable teams, and I'm old enough where I know all the coaches. And so I know how well coached they'll be too. But then after that initial wow factor, I was excited. You got to embrace challenge. We're in this because we're competitive. We're not many jobs where you have a scoreboard to show whether you're good at it or not. And so the fact that we have where we are with our program and the opportunity to play some, the state champs and former state champs and guys that all strive for that every year. It became an excitement after the initial wow.
Shock. It's funny you bring that up because the pundits will look at it and immediately see Alito and Ryan and, oh my God, people in this district are in for trouble. But the same pundits last year looked at your district last year and said, okay, so Timberview's got this thing won, but I think Richland can finish second. Well, that's not how it worked out. You guys played ball and you went undefeated all the way until you ran to that heavy Forney squad. You've got the know-how now to you got the backing of your players that, hey, what I'm preaching here is going to work out, because you saw how we did last year. We were 12-0, so don't worry about the names on it. Just worry about it week to week. Is that you kind of stomped your foot down on the ground last year? Maybe some of the naysayers had to eat some crow last year.
Well, it's funny. Yes, first of all, I love the idea of being a bit of an underdog. I really do. I think it's funny how the great Georgia Bulldogs, they're second in back-to-back, national championships, and coach is talking about all these naysayers and all these people outside the program that doubted them. None of us, I don't remember doubting them for 1 second, but it's funny within your program. Yeah, you find an edge any way you can, and we don't need to look too far, right. The Bearcats and the Raiders and not only them, but yeah, they are obviously and should be favorites, and they're going to be talented. But yeah, we have a lot of kids. This isn't always a guarantee of success, but we have a bunch of kids that are going to play this year that played on the team that just knocked down the door, so to speak. And they have the hardest thing to do in coaching is turn a loser into a winner, or turn an average, not even a loser, but an average or hey, we're competitive, but into a real winner. That's a hard thing to do. And now we've done it. And now we have big expectations for ourselves, regardless of who we're playing.
And you have, for fans' sakes, maybe even the average football fan or below average, you have a fun team to watch. It's not like you got guys that are lighting up the scoreboard. Matter of fact, at your stadium, and not only does it light up the scoreboard, it turns the lights out after the touchdown, right. Which is actually pretty neat. Talk to me, and it's a lot of the players from your team, a lot of the skill position players are back. I mean, you got a lot of receivers coming back that were first or second teamers. You got your son back. And of course, everybody's going to talk about Michael Turner. Talk about the guys you have coming back and the experience from a 12-1 team and how you can bring that into this year. And hey, the sky might be the limit with this kind of experience, at least at the skill position.
I've been coaching 25 years, Ward. This is the first time this has ever happened to me. Every single young man that gained a yard for us is returning.
Oh, wow.
For whatever reason, we didn't have a senior with a carry. We didn't have a senior with a catch, not one in 13 games. So every single yard gained is coming back. And that's just unheard of. Even in garbage time, there's a good young man a senior that, we get a carry to or something. It just worked out that way, and you're right. We have the ability to get off the bus and know how to score, and that's exciting. And then defensively, we have 8 returning starters back, did a good job. And in the secondary and linebacker core in particular, we have out of the 8, we're a 3-4. So out of the 8 guys, 7 of them played extensively. And so we'd like to think we're going to be able to handle things and line up no matter what the formation is that is thrown at us. And when you have that, you can be a little more intricate, you think. We're still going to have our bread and butter stuff, but now we have a chance to be real specific in how we're going to beat people. And then finally, when all else fails, you're right. Let's hand it to old Turner and see what happens. One of our big building blocks will be in the offensive line. And this isn't 7-on-7. I tell our kids that all the time. It's football. So we got to be able to block people. But we have 3 guys that we have to replace in the offensive line that were really good seniors. But like our offensive line coach says, when you got Mike back there, we only got to block him for about a second and a half, and he can do the rest. So hopefully that'll ring true.
Have you noticed, because you've had stud players before, but have you noticed a guy like Michael Turner? He's obviously bringing the recruiters in. Have you noticed other of your players getting looks because of the fact that he's such a good running back? And like we just talked about, you got 4 first teamers at receiver. Are they getting looks because they're coming out to see Michael Turner? You kind of sway them over. Yeah, Michael's over here, but come over this way a little bit and take a look at Xavier and some of these guys, or my son.
Absolutely.
Take a look at him.
Absolutely. It's wonderful for everybody. And Mike's a good team kid, and he wants that for his buddies, But absolutely, yeah. We provide, like most of our coaches in our area, we provide a recruiting list, and we know who can do what and know what they're looking for, a particular trait, whether it's speed or explosiveness or something. And we absolutely do that. I go, hey, yeah, we spend all the time with Mike you want, and and look at this guy and look at that guy, and it's a fun thing for all of us. The kids like him, and so they're rooting for him, and then he also wants his teammates to get whatever they can get to have the opportunity to play after they play with the Royals. So it's a fun deal if you make it that way. Recruiting can be stressful, but because of the kind of kid he is, and because you're right, we have some talented kids around him. It's an exciting problem.
Well, you brought up words, a fun deal in a stressful situation. Does that also apply to coaching your son? How's that been like for you? Is it a stressful situation because it's not only happening here, but you got to go home and we kind of talk about it there. But how's that whole journey been for you coaching your son? It's got to be kind of cool going into that senior year.
I'll give you 2 quick stories. First of all, I dreamt of it all my life. He's the oldest of 3, so I'm probably going to be doing this a while.
All right.
I have 3 boys, but 2 stories real quick. Number 1 is about Wednesday of our first game this year, I made myself physically sick. I didn't tell anybody, right? I'm the head coach. But I'm like, what have I done? I look forward to this my whole life, and here I am. What have I done? Why have I done this to myself? And then, of course, we were able to win the first one. Then we won another one. Then we got on a bit of a really fun roll. It became very fun. I am the guy. I am the dad coach that is harder on my son than everybody else. No. But the time or two where I'm not on him pretty hard in practice, he'll come up to me after practice and say, Dad, what's the matter? Why didn't you, so we've created that, and it's been a joy. It really has. And he's a good boy, and that's good. The other story is, you're right. Back when I was a coach, before my kids were playing, before Drew was playing, my wife, she would, hey, good job, or hey, good game. She's a great support. But now it's, hey, why didn't you throw it on third?
Boy.
Why didn't you? So I said that we will have no parent teacher conferences here, ma'am. So it's a lot of fun.
All right, Coach, I appreciate it. I know it's always fun to talk football, even if it's in May and the season's 3 months away, but we can talk about it all the time here in Texas. So I appreciate you joining me, Coach, and I hope you have a good season.
Thank you. It's always football season to me. Amen. And I really appreciate you and the way you guys cover us. It's why we think we're a big deal, but because of you, we feel like we really are a big deal. So thanks so much, Ward.